do what I wanna, innovate what I'm gonna. You can hate all you wanna, but you're still in your pajama. Now I ain't a prima donna, but I built what I wanna. You can say my vision's wrong, the tune of my song. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Hootin' and clapping, boots I am a strapping, a click click clacking. Hurrah! Bootstrapping in America. Yeah, bootstrapping in America.
Thomas, we're back, my friend. Bootstrapping in America.
Look at all the cool stuff I got in front of me, Bet.
You're going to have to go to the washroom later today.
I can't wait. We have Chris Reed on the phone. Chris, how are you?
How you doing?
Good, Chris. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hey, thanks for making you sit through our crazy intern little discussion before. We only do that about once a year, so we're having some fun with it. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Cool. I got a bunch of your products right here in front of me. We're all excited. So give us a little background. This is a bootstrapping segment. We love hearing the stories. You guys have actually been around for a while.
Yeah, I started developing the product out of my kitchen in Venice in 1987, and I actually went to UCLA. We didn't have the internet back then. Did a lot of research on early sodas, and the idea for me was I wanted to put ginger. I actually wanted to put ginger in the U.S. diet because of my own background in studying herbologies and Ayurveda and Chinese medicine. So that was going to be my business. And I wanted to find a time way back in history where they were using real, ingredients in sodas before they got all high tech. And so in that research, I went back to like the 1840s and earlier, where people used to brew up sodas at home from roots. So this whole drink is a throwback. And I, the first time I produced it, after about 2 years of messing around with recipes, as you can see, it's a Jamaican style. So I was trying recipes from all around the world where there was still a memory of these old handcrafted brewed sodas. There's not many places. I mean, most people remember a grandparent will remember a grandparent doing this, and then the recipe's lost. So it was a big dig. I definitely caught some people that were still doing it in the Caribbean. They still do it at home. They still brew up fresh ginger beers, as they say.
Mm-hmm. So do you still brew your own ginger beer at home?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've got a big brewery in LA. I'm brewing all day long. So it's
I'm just curious if you go home on the weekends and go, let's brew up a little ginger beer. So in 1987 you started with what? Just you?
Just me.
And how much money did you have back in 87?
The final accounting, I launched it for about $3,500.
$3,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got that off the ground even in 87 for cheap. When's the first time you were able to sell anything commercially?
June of 89.
And who was your first buyer?
I think I was working doing telemarketing. It was a little deli about 2 blocks away called Zabby's. And it's on Ocean Park in Santa Monica.
So you kind of walked right over to the beach and found somebody that would, and so what happened then? Did people come in? Take me through the next couple of steps. Like, how did you know you had something? Did they ask for more? Did people buy it? I mean, when did you figure out you had something that may grow?
Well, I think at Zabby's, a person bought a bottle and then asked to buy the rest of the product. And they called me back like 2 or 3 hours later and said, we need to reorder. And I was going, what?
Which one was it? Which one was it? I can't tell.
It's the original ginger brew?
Which one, if I'm looking in front of me?
It's the second from the left.
It's on your...
Second
from...
from...
No, he's talking about the screen. It's on your right.
The screenshot, but it's the one all the way to the right.
The green bottle. Got it.
Yeah, green bottle.
And did it look just like this at the time?
No, actually, it was I only had one product. It was called Original Ginger Brew because I hadn't put my name on it yet.
And so, this is really good.
Oh, thank you.
What is
ginger?
Ginger.
Great.
We brew. See, if you have to know the technology, and I won't go crazy on you, but it's very high tech and it's made in flavor chemists come together and do all this stuff, but it doesn't have real ginger in it. So we're brewing like tea. Starting process is like brewing beer a little bit. You brew the root stuff and actually bought a brewery to do this. So you're using real whole ingredients. There's a lot of ginger in that. There's good reasons behind that if you study, what ginger's for. But let me just tell you one quick thing. When I started, I'm up there at a brewery. I have a canoe paddle. I'm mixing up the ingredients, 200 gallons. I got to climb into the brew kettle and pull out the spent ginger because the brewmaster's going, what the hell? I'm not going to clean your ginger out of that. I take the bottles home. Get the stick glue out. I wash the bottles, put them in my strainer, the dish strainer, and then I have to put the stick glue on the label and put the labels on. I fill up my Volkswagen Bug and go out and sell this stuff. I mean, this is...
down to the Volkswagen Bug, you're original.
That's hardcore bootstrapping. How much ginger do you go through? Right. First of all, let me go through the timeline a little bit. So this first store buys it, and then you realize they order more. You got some. You maybe have something. You're all excited. What's the next steps? Like where are we now? We're into the 90s, and then at what point does it really go kind of a much more like a larger scale commercial where you can where you're in supermarkets or where you're going national?
Well, yeah, I put it in all kinds of places to start with, Philly sandwich shop, all kinds. But the natural food guys went crazy for it because the ginger has all these health properties. And early on, in the first couple months, the distributor called me up because I managed to remember to put a phone number on the label. And he just said, hey, I see it in a few stores. I see it's moving. I can move it into, 200 or 300 more stores because I'm a small guy in Southern Cal. So I got together with him, started selling to him. I was personally servicing about 10, 15 stores in the first 6 months. It quickly was obvious that we couldn't produce. I mean, I had a single head filler. I'm filling each bottle. The brewer wouldn't even fill my bottle. So I have to fill each one, cap it. Takes about a minute to do a bottle. I mean, we're limited on production. So I found... Yeah,
I would say it's single one at a time. Yeah, I would say.
So I went to a brewery in Colorado, was able to get me a couple thousand cases a month. And then I started bringing on more of these little natural food distributors. And then in '90, I went to my first trade show with a backpack and a bunch of bottles cold in a backpack. And I'd walk up to guys who had a badge that looked like distributor and said, "I'm making real ginger ale." And they were like, "Where's your booth?" But I remember the first big distributor I went into. He looked at me because I had no literature, nothing. I just had the bottle and a cooler. And I remember his words. He says, "I feel like I'm wasting my saliva on you." He's still someone in the industry, and we kind of joke about it these days. Anyway.
I'm surprised that nobody. Maybe I just don't know this, but are you still kind of out there on an island, by yourself with the natural ginger, or is it now become much more commonplace? A lot of people are brewing ginger beer. I mean, ginger soda.
It's interesting. I thought that there would be... We, first of all, started a new beverage category. This is the first commercial brewed soda in the history of the world. People brewed them at home, but first time it was commercialized. You figured we started a new beverage category. But everybody since me has come in and said, yeah, we brew up soda, but they're just doing the same high-tech stuff. So they took all the marketing sizzle, but they didn't actually do the brewing. So we are still the only people brewing sodas in the world. And it is shocking to me because we're the Coke of natural foods. We're huge. We're, $60, $70 million market cap. And you would think somebody would go, you know what? The only way to beat this guy is to actually put the real stuff in the bottle, but they're not doing it yet.
So has the Coca-Colas of the world come and knocking yet?
We have a number of large companies that knock on our door on a regular basis, and some of them I still have a little ponytail and stuff. They will, take the company as long as you and your long hair don't come with it. But we have a number of unusual suitors. But we constantly are not interested in being preemptive. We're going to grow. In our minds, we feel like we are just starting, and we're going to get into real mainstream marketing on our products. We've never actually done any serious marketing. It's all push. So we don't want to stop now. We want to get to a couple $100 million and then talk to some big guys.
You're still a private company, right?
No. We're New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, you are? What's the symbol?
REED.
Oh my God, I apologize. I didn't.
That's all right.
When did you go public?
End of 2006. I was looking at venture deals. They looked horrible, and I decided to let our customers off a neck tag, buy stock. So we kind of, direct public offering of sorts.
It's so funny because you kept talking about market cap, and I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, I've never heard of a private company CEO talk about market cap, and now
and they understand why.
It was just like bugging me, and I'm sitting here like, okay, and now I understand totally. So Chris, I mean, this space we've watched. Through different trading experiences we've watched everything from, Snapple gets started, nothing gets scooped up for whatever it was, a couple $1 billion. We've watched this, we've watched the tea space explode. Is there that kind of an upside for, quote, ginger type products or or brewed sodas?
Well, I think there was less interest as the economy kind of faltered. I think everybody thought, high-end soda is going to get hit hard. And, we didn't actually get hit hard because our core company, our industry was the natural food industry, which was very robust, or at least didn't falter during the bad economy, surprisingly. So we weathered it very well. I think there's more kind of interest in it now, as opposed to when we're in a bad economy. But it's kind of nice that we've gone underneath the radar because we've been able to get quite big and not have everybody going crazy on it. So it's giving us more time to entrench and learn more things about the marketing and the product.
How's the butterscotch beer going? Because is that a newer product? Because it sounds awesome.
It's basically the best-known soft drink in the history of the world that doesn't exist, known by the Harry Potter fans as butterbeer. And we decided that we would recreate the butterbeer of the wizarding world as a kind of, we had a specific purpose for it for Walmart and the DVD sets for Harry Potter, but ended up getting picked up by all kinds of places and all kinds of Harry Potter fans around the country. And we can't shut it down. It was almost a joke if we didn't get Walmart, but it just has a life of its own. I mean, I think we just got it into Kroger's.
That's awesome.
Hey, Chris, what's the deal with the different names and what's your favorite of these? If you were to pick one, you're just going to sit around. I'm assuming you drink your own stuff. Which one do you love here? Which one should I try that's in front of me? I have some cola. I have some it looks like cream soda. I can't read it upside down. I have some root beer. What's your favorite in here?
We make kombucha too, and that's our latest. And my favorite is the hibiscus grapefruit ginger kombucha.
So what is kombucha?
Kombucha is a tea that's fermented and it's still live when you sell it. So it's a probiotically active product. Kind of like a yogurt, but not dairy based, and it's pretty vinegary. So we add all these other flavors, like hibiscus, grapefruit ginger, or raspberry lemon ginger, or pomegranate ginger. So that's our newest brews. They're very trendy and hip. But of all the standard sodas, I'd say the extra ginger brew, this double strength ginger brew, is my favorite.
Hey, Chris, are you still the taste tester?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't trust other people. I mean, I have a young chemical engineer working with me, and my COO is French and has a pretty good palate. So we are the team that decides flavor.
So I can only this is a job that I should have had, something like this, but not for. I don't have the right palate for soda, but just as a tester.
Oh, you would have been perfect.
Like a hot dog tester, like a cake tester, something like that. Like, I mean, how
you
many?
And Chris seem like you made from the same mold.
Chris, how many different iterations or formula or whatever it is, trials does it take till you go, wow? Like what's the shortest and what's the longest? Did it take you once like 2 years to figure out something, or 2 days?
Well, it's a good question, and kind of, you had an intuition there. Sometimes it is aha and wham, and sometimes it takes years. So the ginger brew actually was my first, and it was 80 or 90 recipes, and it took about 2 years to develop. But then again, it was my first. The second one was the spiced apple brew, which you don't have there, but I was just making hot apple cider at Christmas time, and all we had to do was settle on a recipe. That probably took maybe a month or two. Dr. Better or Dr. Pepper knockoff, that one took about 8 or 9 months. So it depends on what we're doing. The cola, probably 3 or 4 months. I'd say 3 or 4 months is an average.
I don't know if soda does your product justice because you got almost 25% juice in the ginger, and
it's unbelievable.
Ginger brew, and you've got a bunch of grams of ginger. It's very cool.
Hey, Chris, how was there a time in your life cycle, and I won't go much longer on this, was there a time in your life cycle, because this is what fascinates us about people that bootstrap their business, before you went public, was there a time when you guys said, this isn't going to work? Like, what was your hairiest moment?
When you're talking 25, 23 years, I mean, it's been hairy.
Right.
And the whole thing's been hairy, especially the bad economy, where I went public. I'm sitting here with $18 million burning $750,000 a month, and just about down to my last 2 or 3 million, realizing in 3 or 4 months I'm out of business, and the economy has just melted, and there's no money available. So that was a challenging piece of time. But early on, I'd say that it felt successful in the early days because it was just me. I hadn't quit my day job. I was just making a little money. It's when we started to accelerate, got more nerve-wracking, going public and starting to hire on a whole team of COOs, CFOs. And,
how big was your public offering?
it was just $8 million. We sold 2 million shares at $4.
And how many employees do you have right now?
Oh, probably about 75.
75?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you got, and just you still love what you do, obviously, right?
Oh yeah. No, this is the exciting time.
Right. So, I mean, listen, that's as good as life gets. I mean, that's cool. I'm going to drink all of these up, Chris, as soon as we get off the phone with you. Tony and I are going to do our own little blind taste test here, and we're going to have a little fun with this. And
hey, really, thanks for coming on and supporting Tasty Trade. Really,
I know it's early where you are, and hate to get you out this early, but thank you so much for coming on this Bootstrapper segment.
It's good to have a big CEO coming on to support the show. Love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Guys. Great show, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're going to be back in about 3 minutes. We got Good Trade, Bad Trade. You listen to Get Tasty on the Tasty Trade Network.